Welcome to the Traffic Domination Podcast, where entrepreneurs come for traffic answers. And here are your hosts, Rob Reese and Wayne Crowe.
Welcome, guys, once again. Rob Reese here, along with the host with the most, Wayne, the Superman Crowe.
Superman.
You are Superman, my friend, because you've been making a lot of people a lot of money recently. And I know that, you know, part of the journey is that journey that you initially take of where you're trying your darndest to make this work and it's not working. You know, part of every entrepreneur's journey, especially in our space, is a very long period of time before you actually see the fruits of your labor. And a lot of people actually never get to experience that. But overall, the one thing that everybody really kind of shares in this space is how lonely it can actually be. I know that unless you have people behind you that are supporting you, you know, why the reason why mindset is such a big deal is because a lot of people can get very easily sucked into depression because of how lonely it is. I know that a lot of people experience spousal separation during the process of kind of building their own like online business and trying to get things to work, and it's just not. And it's a very serious thing, man. You were telling me a story just now that I wanted to see if you would be willing to share that with us, because this is something that is very serious. I actually wrote a blog post, maybe not 100% identical with what we're about to talk about today, but it was called The Grind, the Sure Way to Depression. And it really was a critique on the mentality of Gary Vaynerchuk's kind of teaching of just grind. And, you know, until you have no more time in the day, you're going to be wasting years away trying to build your business. And that's just the cost of it. And I said that mentality is really a surefire way for you to get into a dark place, especially for myself, especially if I don't have people around me and just kind of a support system that's physically there, not just digitally, but physically there. But entrepreneur depression is a real thing. And you were telling me a story that I'd like maybe for you to share with the audience here, because this very well might help somebody going through this very thing or possibly approaching depression from what they're experiencing.
Yeah. That is, entrepreneurial as online can get very lonely, mate, especially when I think people see me in some respects as a bit of a leader. And as soon as your head comes above the sand a little bit, the amount of abuse that I can sometimes get, the amount of like haters you just seem to get out of nowhere, people you don't know. I had one just yesterday. So you've got to have some kind of resilience. But the thing that got me thinking, obviously, with Keith Flint's suicide, that got me thinking. Then today, my brother, my late brother, passed away, and his best friend come round. I bought a brand new car, and instead of saying all this stuff they try and sell you at the dealership, I said, no, just leave it. I'll get my friends to come around and put this coating on it. He came round, and just got talking about my brother. And then we got talking on the fact how, like, as men, I mean, I can only speak as a man because I'm a man, but how we bottle things up a lot, how we don't speak about all the, you know, we sit as airy fairy, or we're expected to bottle it all up and things. And it's probably the most in-depth discussion I've had since my brother kind of died, apart from obviously my family, with someone that knew him very, very close, like his best friend. And it was kind of, it felt almost good to get it off my chest. And I think he felt the same way. It was quite an emotional kind of few minutes. And I think, you know, that relates back to what we do as entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs. I'm sitting here in my office all day long. Luckily, I've got a very supportive wife. I've got a very supportive family. I've got very supportive friends. But it kind of, you're sitting in the same four walls. Sometimes I'm speaking to people that I wouldn't necessarily speak to in real life. And that's just part of doing it. And then, I mean, then there's very few people online you build those relationships with. So especially when you when you start out, you build good relationships, you're on the same kind of place, aren't you? But as you become better well known, you get more haters and things kind of evolve and you follow your path. It gets very, very lonely. I actually quite like being on my own. I'm not a person, I'm very much introvert, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like doing something today. And you think, right, all my friends are already out, or, they're all at work, so you can't do anything because they've all got 9 to 5s, and it kind of, it gets to you. So I think it's important as, men, women, or whatever, but speaking as a man, that you learn to speak about your feelings. I saw another post from someone about the 8 things people regret before they die. And one of them was not being able to speak your feelings to people you're close to, your family, your friends. And again, that's another reminder of just being able to speak the way you feel. It's a tough thing.
Yeah, I mean, Entrepreneur Magazine put out a number of articles last year really about the effects of being an entrepreneur and speaking about how it's really a hidden dark side. That's what the article was actually called. It said there's a hidden dark side to being an entrepreneur. It wreaks havoc on your mental health. And I know that I've experienced personally very, very heavy bouts of depression. Now, a lot of people wouldn't see it on the outside, obviously. Even right now, just talking about it is getting me a little choked up. So if I choke up on the stream here, Wayne, don't mind me. But it's a really a personal topic to me because of how real it actually is. Because you do a whole bunch of work and to not see fruits come from it or people support you that you thought that had your back. They said they did in the beginning, but when that time is elapsed and they're still not seeing the vision, but you still have a glimmer of hope and you're still doing what you need to do to press forward, all of a sudden those people turn against you and it becomes a real thing. Even when you get to the point of where you're doing well, right? It's still a real trauma that can happen. Look at all these people at the top: Keith Flint, Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain. These guys literally had the entire world in their lap. They were making all sorts of money, and yet they were completely feeling alone and set apart. That's why it's so important to really have somebody there. I've mentioned this a number of times on the show, Wayne, that I'm a Christian. I attend church, and one of the things that I really love about that kind of a community is we reinforce this thing of having kind of like an accountability partner, somebody that you can confess things to in confidence, that they're not going to relay that to somebody. They're not going to throw it all over social media or anything like that. But a confidant, a friend, a real true blue friend. And that's one of the things that we lose big time in the world of social media, is that personal connection that we have with people. So, Wayne, what are some of the, I guess, things that you would suggest? I have a couple that work for me, but what are some of the things that you would suggest for people who are kind of feeling like they're inching towards that depressed realm on what would be able to help them out, especially if they're spending so much time behind a computer screen?
Yeah. For me personally, it's not making it about the money. Like money invokes strange feelings in yourself and other people. So one of the things I say is not make it about money. The other thing that really works is, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying it, but getting out in nature. Literally, when you feel, because we, as entrepreneurs, we put this immense pressure on ourselves. I'm like it, you're like it. We put this pressure on ourselves when we're not working. We kind of beat ourselves up, and we get to a stage almost where we feel this sense of absolute overwhelm, and we can't deal with it, and we just either get tired or think, well, stuff it. But all you literally have to do is literally, what works for me is literally getting up off the chair, and I've got a massive park right next to my house, huge, great thing. Literally go for a walk, and clear your mind. Literally get all the crap out of your mind. Works wonders for me. Another thing that works really well is kind of, I know I go on about mindset, but working on your mindset. You don't have to forfeit. I don't believe you don't have to forfeit everything to be successful. It's just about giving the right energy in the right areas. So waking up early, going for walks, a bit of meditation, making sure when you're with your family, you give that ultimate effort towards everything in your day, and live that fulfilled life, which includes family, which includes a bit of exercise. You don't think it, but I do a bit of exercise. And done all those things you should be. Because when your mind's in the right place, and when your mind is just on fire, don't you? When you got that, nothing can stop you. You're loving life. Feels like nothing can go wrong. It's about trying to prepare yourself for that feeling. And one little thing in a book I read, which I tell everyone to read, Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, is the night before you go to bed, you tell yourself how you're going to feel in the morning when you wake up. And literally the first time I tried that, it worked absolutely. Just tell yourself, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to feel great. And just the way you wake up with extra energy. I mean, there's a whole lot of other stuff with it, but just the way you kind of wake up and you've told yourself how you're going to feel, you believe you're going to feel like that, you wake up feeling refreshed, ready to go, ready to tackle the day, whatever that is. And that's it, really. Yeah, just don't feel like you have to work all the goddamn time like pretty much we do.
That's right. No, I mean, that's so true, Wayne. And just to kind of touch on what you said, just kind of go out and take a walk. The science proves that the more fresh air you get, the lower chances you have of becoming anxious and depressed. It actually is a natural antidepressant, which is really nice. And we tend to be all cooped up in our offices behind a screen all day, and we forget to take a simple walk outside. A 10-minute, 15-minute walk is not going to destroy your business if you walk away from it. And I know that I have a major problem stopping. Like, I feel like I have to be there all the time. And then, of course, it affects my relationships with my wife and kids. And that is the worst thing that you can do. And we've talked about this in the past, Wayne, that unless you're doing it kind of for that reason, for your family, for the people that you experience life with, all of this is really a fruitless endeavor. The money is nice, but that comes and goes. The people that are around you are the most important asset and benefit that you have available to you. So if you focus on them and just focus on what you're producing rather than the outcome, you'll be much better off. And I know that for the last 2 weeks, I've been doing an experiment as an entrepreneur. I've been running some tests for what I can do to provide value to my audience. And I've simply been concentrated on giving out free content, okay? 100% free content. Nobody had to opt in to any pages or anything like that. And I've had the most profitable 2 weeks I have had in like a year and a half.
Awesome.
It is absolutely a game changer, especially when you're focused on just being there for people rather than the outcome.
How did that make you feel, like knowing you're giving someone else value? You're giving.
You know what? It felt awesome because unsolicited, people were coming up to me and saying, "Man, you totally made my day." Instead of like, charging people for like private coaching and stuff, right? I was offering people just free coaching advice that normally would go for at least, $1,000 for the session that I would do. And these guys are coming back to me. They're like, "Dude, I've been hitting like sales and I haven't been able to hit sales in such a long time. You've helped me revive this portion of my business." And it just made me feel so grateful that I was able to provide something like that to somebody. And I didn't get anything in return other than a congratulations. And it made me feel incredible. Not that I'm like the greatest guy in the world or anything, but it built me up, and it's positioning me for a better time going forward, to where I won't have these bouts of anxiety attacks and stress and all of that. I've lost like 8 pounds in the last 2 weeks, the right way. I've been doing a lot better, and
I think you give that to me.
Hey, listen, it's okay. It's okay to have that piece of cake, Wayne. It's okay. You don't have to blame me, okay?
It's not cake. It's not cake.
But guys, this is a serious issue, and we really do want to see people excel and do well and be happy in doing so. The last thing we would want is to see you on the front page of the news, another entrepreneur takes his or her life. It just doesn't make sense for what our initial goals were of getting into this type of a business. Somebody said that entrepreneurs are going to be the ones that change the world for the better. And I totally believe so, because they're going to have the means to do so. And I wholeheartedly do believe that a lot of major positive difference can be made by us, but that can't be made if we're stuck in a rut all the time and we're kind of hiding behind the shadow of, happy social media look. Get somebody to talk to, reinvest yourself in people. Have somebody that is close to you, that's a friend, a dear friend, reconnect with them and share with them your struggles. And I'm telling you, the moment that you're able to kind of spill the beans, sort of say, you're gonna feel like a whole weight has come off your shoulders, and it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, one of the biggest things you can do, or I've done, is invest. Instead of investing all this time into your business, invest in yourself. I think is the main thing. For example, if you're really motivated like we are, there's loads of people that are really motivated. They want to change their lives, make a difference. One of the things I found is trick myself. So when I go for a walk, is trick myself that by listening to ebooks that I'm still working.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started doing that, my entire mindset. I think we were friends when I went through that kind of stage. And there's other people seeing the change too. It's like you grow as a person.
Yeah.
And the books I read transformed my life. Waking up half an hour early so I can go for a walk, listen to ebooks, set the day up, meditate, all that kind of stuff. And go towards the day in a relaxed kind of way instead of work, must get this done, must feel anxious and horrible if I don't get it done. And I still get those feelings now when it's hard, because we set ourselves big goals, don't we?
Yes.
big goals. And that kind of, in a way, it's kind of like a never-ending cycle as well. Because when you reach one level, you want to get the next level, the next level, and then the next level.
An entrepreneur's never happy with where they reach.
No, that's one thing I've noticed in myself. Like as soon as you think, right, I'm getting somewhere now, you find out someone done 10 times better. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you know, that brings me to something that for me has been a really great thing, and it can be used both for your personal betterment and for your personal mental health to improve, as well as for improving on your business. This has a double-sided benefit, in my opinion. Celebrate every single little win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Everything that you accomplish, celebrate it as a win. Okay. Even if you lose at something technically, right? Let's say you're testing some new ads. Celebrate the fact that you now have new piece of information that is going to help your business. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to make that mistake again. This is good. I'm finding that out now rather than later. But if you celebrate just little wins, I took a walk today. I hit this, 3 things on my list today. I made this page today. Whatever it may be, list out kind of your goals, and each time you check something off, give yourself a commendation for it. Like this past 2 weeks, I told you I ran a couple of experiments. I called them money experiments. And I was simply just providing tons and tons of value to people. And the win was that the end result happened to be profitable for me, even though I was simply just giving really free, just really good value to people. The end result is I made a ton of money. And that wasn't really the intended goal. That was certainly on the hopeful list, but it came to be, and it totally made me celebrate those things. And I put it out on social media. People celebrated with me, and of course that caused people to ask me more about my business, which was really cool. So celebrate little wins. It's going to make a huge difference. Anything else, Wayne? Because we're running low on time and we got some crazy stuff to do the rest of the
day. Not really, mate. Just don't bottle stuff up. I know we're all bad for it, but I think that idea, that thing you do with your church is fantastic, having that accountability partner. I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, I don't go to church. I'm not highly religious, but I can see how that would help you, just getting things off your chest. So just grow your support network. Do not forget about your support network. Right?
Yeah.
So important.
It's key, because if you don't take care of yourself and your mental health, all this work that you do is worthless. It really is. If you're not feeling good while doing this, it's just going to be a grind the rest of the way, and then you'll get stuck in a spot that you can't come back from. And we certainly don't enjoy seeing any of that. But, this was a little bit more of a serious topic, guys. We did it because it's important, and we don't want to kind of shy away from difficult topics. And it's a real bad situation in our circles. So, you know what? This is kind of off the cuff, Wayne, but if anybody ever wanted to talk about anything, I'm a good listener. Feel free to drop us a line. I'll leave an email address, and a conversation would just be us two, whether by email or Skype. But I'm more than willing to sit with you and chat with you if you're having a hard time, and maybe point you to some resources that may help you in this. Because I do definitely want to see people prosper and do well and live happy and joyful, rather than be downcast.
Yeah, awesome.
So, guys, that's our episode for today. Remember to join us in our Facebook group. Wayne, what is the name of our Facebook group again?
Online Marketing by Traffic Domination, I believe.
That's right. That is right. Also, don't forget to sign up for your free training below. Wayne has put together an incredible training that is getting complete newbies and people who have been trying their hand at affiliate marketing for so long with a free training that's going to be available in the description box below. Make sure you hit the like button on our Facebook channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you get that subscribe button on the podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, and all other places you can find podcasts. Traffic Domination Podcast. This is Rob Reese saying sayonara, along with the host with the most, Wayne.
The man Crowe.
Man Crowe. You see, we always end up with that. Always. Take it easy, guys. Until next week.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.